Good morning. We almost all have mobile telephones by now. There's just a few of us that still have an old phone hanging on the wall somewhere, tied to a landline. But because this is so, we also almost daily end up getting calls that are by some business, or maybe just a plain crook somewhere, but we get these calls that's not really looking out for our good, no matter what they say. Let's talk about these unwanted robocalls on today's Senior Insights. Almost all of us that are on Medicare now are about to be covered up with these end of the year sales literature in the mail. Everybody wanting to sell us a different plan of some sort. And it's this from now till the end of the year, they just wear us out. We all are used to that. And some of this sales literature comes in the mail. But despite that, these pesky robocalls go wild this time of year, trying to call and saying, oh, we have to get this information. We're from the insurance company. We're from Medicare. Give us your phone number. Oh, yeah, okay. Well, they already called it, right? We want to just verify your date of birth, what credit card or bank account that you want checks sent to, whatever their reasoning is or however they word it. All they want to do is get information from us. And dear ones, you just need to beware. A lot of us will be called by somebody who's just really not looking out for our good. They'll invent some reasonable sounding line that might sound good in your thinking, but really they result in giving away personal information. Most often they trick you into giving out information like a bank account number or a credit card number, even your date of birth. Please never give that type of information over the phone, especially if you did not start the phone call. These crooks will try to convince you that they're just a friend. They're such good people. They pretend that they know some information about you, and they hear that some of it has been stolen by hackers or whatever kind of a line they give you. They want to have your private and personal information themselves. So they'll ask you to verify your financial information so that they can correct this problem. Dear ones, don't ever give out this kind of information. Unless we've made the call ourselves to somebody, we know who we're talking to. But if somebody contacts you, never, ever do it. Because if we call, then we know who we're talking to. The gospel even says in Matthew chapter 10, let us be as shrewd as snakes and harmless as doves. We've heard that before. It's good sound advice in these kind of days. Don't fall for these too good to be true offers. Nothing's free when it requires your personal information. So don't give it out. You've not won a big prize. Let me have your account number so we can send you your $10 million or whatever. Never give out personal information like that. Those account numbers, where you bank, your date of birth, and all that sort of thing, they don't need to know. Don't tell them over the phone. You don't know who you're talking to. A legitimate request from somebody will probably come in the mail, and you can contact them. But don't just give it out without knowing who you're talking with. Don't ever give this information to anyone over the phone or online. They'll try to call. A lot of times it's at lunchtime or supper time. Sometimes if they think that we're distracted or we're not paying attention to what's going on, or because they're interrupting, we're in a hurry, so we tell them what they want to know to get off the phone. We need to learn the art of just hanging up on these calls. Yes, I know. Our mothers told us to be polite to others. You don't ever just hang up on people or slam the door in their face. But you don't need to respond. Just disconnect the call without a comment. You're probably only listening to some machine's recording anyway, so you can't really offend it. But don't answer phone calls from an unknown phone number, especially those that come in those odd hours. Most numbers are going to be in your phone contact list, and when somebody on that list, somebody you know calls, most likely the caller ID shows up on your phone. You know who's calling. And if not, if it's a number that is a friend but they're not in your list, they can leave a message. They can say, this is Bob. Call me back when you get a chance. It's such and such a number. But then at least you know it's a legitimate call. But if not, if they don't want to leave a message, don't worry about it. Just don't call them back. If it really is somebody that's important, they'll call you again later. But never provide personal, banking, and sensitive information over the phone to any caller. And don't follow the prompts to click one or something like that, any kind of a link on your computer. They also use text messages sometimes. So if they look strange, again, a number you don't recognize, it's somebody you don't know, why would they be texting you? And usually those contain misspelled words or some kind of a originating place that the numbers that show where it comes from are strange looking numbers. And sometimes these crooks just use text messages and email. If you don't know the sender, just leave it alone and delete it. Download the spam call and text blocker to equip your phone. You can get them as any kind of an app from the App Store with the latest phone scam fighting technology. And they can help block most of these pestering calls. These apps use global databases of millions of numbers that are known to be scammers. And they can block them to prevent these callers from reaching you in the first place. These scammers are using technology that gives them numbers that even look like they're from your own area code now. Maybe they even stumble into one of those that it's somebody you know. But still, if you don't answer, that person's going to call you back. But so remember, as soon as you realize that it's a robocall, just hang up. You do not need to respond or even listen. In fact, you should not. Go online if you have to. Maybe you can get a grandchild to do it. And sign on to the Federal Trade Commission's Do Not Call registry and add the number. It may help reduce the number of calls you get. They find companies that are known to do this for calling a number. They're responsible to look at that list first. So that's the Federal Trade Commission. It's donotcall.gov. It's simple enough to remember, but it may help at least reduce the number of calls greatly. I hope this has been helpful. I know it's a strange thing to talk about, but not only are they a pest, but there have been some people, they've completely emptied their bank accounts. They've really caused problems. We certainly don't want anybody to be taken by these scammers. Let's not be a victim. Now, if you have any thoughts or wishes to talk to me about anything or this topic here, I'll give you an email at the end of this video like we always do. But thank you for listening this week. Now, let's close this morning with our blessing. Oh, may the Lord bless you and protect you. May the Lord smile on you and be gracious to you. May the Lord show you his favor and give you his peace. And again, that's the peace that we know only comes from our Lord Jesus. Thank you for listening. We'll be back next Thursday. This is Pastor Bob, and I'll be praying for you.